Welcome to Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto, tu mejor amiga en bienes raíces. Sponsored by Tucson Appliance, Chris and Corbin Edwards. And man, are we excited here today with a very special guest. We are back, and again, make sure that you have your pen, papers with lots of takeaways, because today's going to be a little even extra special. I mean, you all know that this show is going to be all about motivation and positivity, but today we have someone so appropriate, extra appropriate for this show. So, señor Andrés Ruiz, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy muy feliz y agradecido por la oportunidad de estar aquí contigo, Kasandra. De nuevo, sí,
2 veces en una semana, qué bárbaro. Estamos felices de estar aquí con ustedes y bueno, para que vayan sacando sus plumas, sus papeles, para que tomen notitas. Tengo aquí una persona muy especial hoy, de motivación, una persona que tiene una historia tan especial y bueno, ya quiero compartirla con ustedes. But right before we jump in, as all of you know, we always start with our mission statement. Why lifting you up with Kasandra Prieto? The why behind all of this is our mission is to elevate, empower, and celebrate the story of Hispanic leaders and local business owners in our community. Through meaningful, heartfelt conversations, we shine the light on individuals who have overcome cultural conditioning, self-doubt, and struggle, and have chosen to rise, lead, and inspire.
Nice.
This platform, co-hosted by Chris Edwards and myself, is dedicated to telling more than just stories. It's about sharing real turning points like the one we're gonna hear today, deep self-discoveries, and wisdom gained along the way. We believe that these voices matter. They reflect the heart of our community and the strength within our culture. Andres, please tell me how excited you are here today to share your story.
I'm really excited, and I honestly, I feel blessed just to be able to have the opportunity to tell my story and share with an audience.
And you know what, Andres, you have been doing a lot of this for the last years, and I mean, for the last decades, probably. But it's such an honor to have you here on my show today to really dive deep into little details of a specific circumstance that you're going to talk to us about. I think it's so wonderful, all the stories you have. So I'm excited to hear which one you're going to share with us today and dive into that.
Awesome.
I think that people are going to have so many takeaways with that. So, un poquito de Andrés Ruiz, ¿ok? Estoy muy emocionada de presentarles a mi invitado. Es un hombre con una historia que verdaderamente me ha tocado el corazón y al corazón de muchas personas aquí en Tucson. Andrés Ruiz es un life coach, motivational speaker, autor de 22 libros y el fundador de I Believe in Myself. Él se dedica a ayudar a la gente a encontrar su propósito, construir confianza y superar el miedo y las dudas. Originario de México, ahora aquí en Tucson, donde ha impactado a miles a través de su coaching, sus talleres, charlas y ahora aquí en este radio show. Él sabe que es sentirse perdido y desconectado, pero encontró su propósito y man, he is making such a big difference here in Tucson. I just can't, I really want to share why I feel that you really needed to be on this show. You have been planting little seeds, and I wrote this down because I thought this was so impactful to me. Él está sembrando semillitas que ya se están transformando aquí en nuestra comunidad, especialmente con los hispanos. Yo te he visto abrazar a personas que nadie esperaba ver como brillar, no solamente mejorar, pero brillar. Y ahora se están floreciendo. Esto pasa cuando alguien cree en ti, te guía, te da la confianza y te enseña que sí se puede. Él está cambiando Tucson, en mi opinión, para mejor. Nos está ayudando a ver con más amor, con más empatía y especialmente está empoderando a nuestra comunidad hispana. Gracias a lo que él está haciendo, muchos de nosotros caminamos rodeados de gente más fuerte, más positiva y más despierta. I truly feel, Andrés, that the difference that you're making within all the people that I know is changing my surroundings. So I truly feel like you are changing Tucson and the Hispanic community, especially because you have had such a focus in that. But my surroundings are better and more positive because of your work over the last years.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I never thought about it like that.
It's so wonderful. So I wanted to make sure that I said that here. And
thank you.
Let's dive in. First, tell me, how do you feel?
Oh, right now, honestly, I feel grateful and in the moment.
Good. This is how we want this to be. So we dive right into our first question. We all have had moments of turning points where we had to make decisions that completely changed us or shaped us and molded us. And which one are you going to talk about today that you really want to share with the world?
Yeah, so for me, I know that for many years I worked at call center jobs and I was really unhappy, honestly, taking calls from people threatening me that they're going to kill me if they don't get their Nikes or something like that. I would get threats.
Really happen?
That really does happen. That was on Christmas Eve, It's like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have the manpower. Well, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to hurt you. So I had jobs like that and I was extremely unhappy. And then I remember one time a friend of mine, he gave me a YouTube link and he said, you got to check this out. And then when I put that on, it just spoke to me. Like I was just not expecting what I heard. And I remember this one particular phrase that really transformed the way that I thought. And it was by Les Brown. And he said, many people will leave the universe without a trace. And under their name, you can put not used up.
Not used up.
And when I heard that, I said, oh my goodness. Like, I know that I have not been used up. And I know that I have not used the max potential that I know I have within. And I had always been a dreamer ever since I was a little kid. I would watch like Rocky movies or I would watch like basketball, Michael Jordan, all these people. And I was always a dreamer, but I just didn't have like somebody in my life, like a guide that would tell me, hey, you can do this, or hey, set goals or do something like that. So my first mentor was YouTube, and it was through Les Brown and Tony Robbins and things like that. So Les Brown led to another thing and another thing. And so for me, when I heard this first audio, I said, I can't get enough of this. And that's where, honestly, that was one of the biggest turning points in my life where I was ready for like this message. And I said to myself, I know that I can do more. I don't know what it is, but I know that I was meant for more.
Right. So I want to go back to that moment, and forgive me if you did say this, but I didn't hear it. You said that you were working for Nike, right? Or
for call center jobs.
Call center jobs.
Oh no, it was like because they wanted, it was for UPS. UPS. We didn't deliver the Nikes.
Okay, so for call center, and so where did you hear? Like, what moment did somebody bring you up this video? Did you just listen to it? Like, let's go to that moment.
Yeah. So it was like a guy that I met through like network marketing.
Okay.
And it was kind of like life insurance stuff, and I was kind of like the guy. I remember one time he was following me like at a Walmart, and I was like,
what are you doing?
This guy's following me. Like, am I freaking out? And then he would be like this, and then he'd be looking at a paper, and he'd be like, and I was like, this guy's following me.
So he was trying to recruit you?
Yeah, he was trying to recruit me, but I was like, I had no idea what network marketing was at the time.
Oh, God.
And then the guy said, hey, like, do you, hey man, like, are you interested in making money? And I'm like,
oh my God.
Wait, like, are you trying to like do something illegal or what's going on here? Like, and I was like, and he was asking me like, you want to make some extra money? And I'm like,
oh my God.
I guess. Like, I don't know. And then he invited me. I remember he invited me to this networking event where as soon as I walked in, people were jumping, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I got scared.
Yeah.
I got scared because I was never used to something so positive. I was used to usually like, oh, do you think you are? You think you're all bad, eh? Like George Lopez says.
Don't smile, eh?
Don't smile, eh? You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be miserable. So I went to that, and then they were jumping. I was like, what is going on here? I wanted to run out. I was like, what did I get myself into? So then that's the guy that introduced me to this audio. He's like, you got to check out this audio. And then that's when he introduced me to Les Brown. And at first, I didn't even listen to it for like a week or two. I was like, oh, it's probably this like jumping up and down stuff. I don't want to jump up and down at 7 in the morning. Alone. But yeah, but he showed me that. And then that's when I was like, I started listening to these audios, like when I would go to my job. I would drive to my job and I would listen to these audios. You can do it, and then one thing that I want to share with you, a tip that is very powerful that has been very powerful for me. It's called education on wheels. So university on wheels. So the average person drives about 500 hours a year, which accumulates to a semester of university. So that's why, yeah. So we drive about
500 miles,
500 hours a year.
A year.
That's minimum. If you're in real estate or things, you probably drive more. So I said to myself, okay, and I learned this through Brian Tracy, where he said, why don't you change that same music that you listen to over and over and over again to something with personal development to rewire your brain for something positive. So I remember I used to listen to escuchaba mucho como Vicente Fernández o, por tu maldito.
Como dicen, venas.
Córtate las venas, el cortavenas. So I remember I would listen to nothing but that stuff, and that was in my subconscious. So I was constantly living in like sadness, and then my parents at the time had gotten a divorce, so I would listen to music about parents getting divorced, and I'd be crying.
God.
So I was kind of making myself even more depressed, but unconsciously, but it made me feel a certain way. So I kept doing that. So I changed the switch to that. And I was listening to these audios, and I remember these audios, they inspired me to do something that I've been wanting to do since I was 12 years old, which was stand-up comedy. So I started doing stand-up comedy.
How was that? I mean,
oh my God, dude. It was not very good.
I can't imagine you being up there.
No, if you saw me, and my comedy was kind of brutal. It was very X-rated. So yo me acuerdo que iba pues allí a hacer la comedia y todo eso, y me acuerdo que una vez estaba una viejita bien linda, así como una nana, ahí estaba comiendo la viejita y luego voltea para arriba, hace. Y me quedé, wow, prefiero que me haga boo la señora que me haga así. Y me quedé, qué mala la viejita. No, and then my friend Dom, he was really a good comedian, and he was from California. And I remember sometimes you see the movies and you see these guys who hey, what's going on, bro? Whoa. And he would talk like that. You're like, Andreas, bro, you gotta get better. You're not doing good, bro. Yes, hablaba. I'm not kidding. It was real. And I was like, wait, these guys are real. So that's when I said, okay, I'm not very good. So maybe I need to do something to improve. And then, so that's when I got into public speaking, and I started to develop the skill set of public speaking. And I did get better as a comedian, because now I was kind of doing it in a way with more confidence, and then also my jokes were getting better, and and the old lady wasn't going like this anymore. She was going like this. No, she wasn't going like that. But yeah, that's my boy. No, but I got better, and
you were still listening to all the motivation.
I was still listening to the motivation, and another funny thing is that when I would go to the comedy club, I would have my Bluetooth on, and I would be listening to motivation because I was nervous.
Oh yeah,
and I was just listening to it, and he's like, "You can do it, you can," and I would go up there. And I remember I had my thing was when I would go up there, I would smack the person in the butt. It was maybe back in now, I don't know if that would be appropriate.
It might be not appropriate.
Not appropriate, but that was my thing. Boom. Eventually the comedians would get to the point they'd be like, I know what he's going to do.
He's not going to do that to
Yeah. And no, it was just, so that's how I kind of got into the whole public speaking. But then I fell in love with public speaking. I said, this is what I was meant to do. This is my calling. I want to do this for the rest of my life, because I absolutely enjoyed it, because then I started going into middle schools, high schools, just speaking for free. I would just look for anybody, hey, you want me to speak for free? And some people would be like, nah, it's cool, we were good. So I would get rejected a lot, even for wanting to speak for free.
But you kept
But I kept doing it and doing it, and then I was thinking about LL Cool J doing it and doing it. So pero luego ya después de eso me empezaron a pedir como, hey, ¿y cuánto cobras? Y me quedé, okay, there's money here. I can make some money. And then that's how I started getting paid little by little, just making some money with public speaking.
How long ago was this?
This was it's going to be about almost 10 years now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. Qué rápido pasa el tiempo.
I know, it does.
So just a couple takeaways here before we go into our next question. Man, I thank you for sharing. So I've been interviewing a lot of people that I already know, right? But you know people, but you don't know them. So it's always really cool to just dive into these little stories that I never knew existed from these people that I've known forever. Yeah. But it's so funny when you shared about how this gracias a este chamaco, muchacho, this weirdo that started following you around, asking you, or trying to recruit you. But it just, what kind of mindset, it makes me question, what kind of mindset do you have to be in to turn around and listen, right? To get curious, not listen, to get curious about someone like that. And there's something really beautiful that you probably already heard, but Tony Robbins talks about when we have to be miserable enough or go through something strong enough to have the opportunity for us to shift our mindset to change. And you were in that place when you found yourself at Walmart with that guy stalking you around, right? Because any other time, like right now, you'd probably be like, what the heck is that guy doing? Like, let me run. Let me go get the cops. But in that time, like, cómo se presentan las cosas para que haya pasado, but you felt enough pain with your circumstance to get curious the moment that he said, hey, do you want to make money? You were open, you were searching. It's just so incredible how our mind shifts when we're actually looking to make a change, when we've decided internally, even though we haven't even said it. So I love that story, and I think that you should share that story more, that creeper was running around after you, and he's the one that got you. And then like talking about like people jumping around and all that. If you've never been to a motivational seminar, man, I feel you're missing out. Like jumping is just the beginning.
Oh yeah, right?
Like
that's just.
But that's psychologically and scientifically already puts you in a better mood.
Absolutely.
So don't hate on it. But our next question for you: what have you learned throughout the last 10 years and through all of this journey about yourself that you had no idea you had in you?
One of the things would be that I had no idea that I had the courage to do what I'm doing because I didn't know that I could do it, and it was just knowing that, you know what, like I need to first get comfortable with developing this skill set, and also I didn't know I had the capabilities of like, hey, I can learn a skill set that eventually could make me money or more money or make me like live a better life than I was living, because the job that I was doing, it was like I could be easily replaced, you know, like it was very easy for people to like just take calls and stuff like that. And for me to develop this skill along the way of public speaking, and then eventually that led into coaching, that led into book writing, that led into doing like radio. And the beauty about when you follow your dreams, like along the way, you will find other things that interest you. You know, like I went for comedy thinking that, hey, I want to do comedy because I wanted to do since I was 12 years old. I would watch like Chappelle, George Lopez, all these people. And I always wanted to do stand-up, but I was just too scared and worried. What will people think, you know? And even when I was doing it, I would be like my friends, they'd be like, mira, bro, quieres ser el chilo, el George Lopez. Quieres estar en el sábado gigante.
Ay, Dios mío, con sábado gigante.
You know? No, I didn't want to be in sábado gigante. But these guys would get into my head, and I'd be like, man, am I making a fool out of myself? Am I being dumb? Like all these doubts. And I'm just grateful that I had my mentors on YouTube that motivated me and said, you know what? These people's opinion doesn't matter because they're not even in the arena. Their opinion doesn't matter. So that's one thing that I want to share with people is like, if you're getting advice from people that are not even in the arena, do not take that advice because they don't even know what it feels like. They don't even know like the challenges that you have to go through. Can
you like just dive into that for a minute, just explaining that whole concept, because I love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the man in the arena is that person that is in the grind, that is doing the work that a majority of people are not willing to do.
They're not even willing to jump into the arena.
They're not willing. No. And they're these people that are in the nosebleeds yelling that you suck and that you're not going to make it. Some people are on TV yelling at you, telling you suck, you're not good enough, look at you. And those people, they don't even have the courage, you know. They
never even tried.
They never even tried. They're just keyboard warriors, you know. They just type and they say, hey, you suck or you're this. And I've had people where they criticize my videos, you know, and I actually thank them and I love them because, you know, they're making me stronger, they're making me better.
They're building you.
And, you know, I also feel bad for them because, like, you know, for somebody to stoop that low to go and criticize you, take the time to criticize you, that just shows a lot about where their self-esteem is at. So if you're that person that's getting that criticism from a person who's not in the arena,
praising you.
Yes, you're doing it. You're doing something right, you know, because they don't have the courage to do what you're doing. And unfortunately, a lot of people, if they get one rejection, or if they get one no, or if they say they get one like, oh, you're ugly, or you're, oh, look at you're this, you're that, people take it personally and then they stop.
And they stop, yeah.
And they never take another swing. And that's why a lot of people, they don't follow their dreams. And that's why they say that the wealthiest place on the planet is in the graveyard, because in the graveyard, you will find ideas, inventions, hopes and dreams that were never brought to life because of fear. The fear, what will they say about me? The fear of what if I don't do it right? Or what if I fail? And unfortunately, that's why a lot of people don't live their purpose.
Exactly. I love this. Man, I hope that you've taken notes. I mean, I have so many notes already. I love this. Andres, let's dive into our last question. So, of all the listeners that are listening right now, if someone is on the verge right now and they've been at that job that they're miserable, they're not happy, and they know that they have in their heart something else, something bigger, but they just haven't found enough motivation to take a leap, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, so I would say shift your identity. You got to shift your identity immediately, because who you are right now will not get you where you want to go. And for me, it was just first looking at myself and then looking at people that I admire and that I wanted to be like. So what I did was I took inventory of the 4 people that inspired me the most, and I wrote down 4 characteristics about them that I appreciated. So for example, it was like Tony Robbins, courageous, very motivating, great attitude, Les Brown, all these great attributes. So then what I did, and at the time I remember I was working at a group home for the elderly. So I've worked a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And in a 3x5 card, I wrote down all the attributes, all the characteristics that I wanted to be. Man of integrity, man of courage, man of service. So I wrote those down, and then I would read them when I would wake up. And then throughout the day, I would carry the 3x5 card with me, and I would read it out loud. And then I would read it at night before I went to bed, because when you go to bed, your subconscious mind is still working. And when your subconscious mind is still working, it'll remember what it last saw or what it last heard. I used to see Walking Dead, and I would be like, oh my God, like freaking out. Where the zombies at, man? Like, it was scary. But now I started to put into my brain of the person that I desired to be. So now ideas start to form. When you're sleeping, ideas will come to you, and you'll wake up, and then you'll be like waking up to this person, this new person. And then those words eventually will turn into thoughts. Those thoughts will eventually turn into feelings of like, I can do this. And then you'll turn into action, and then you'll get a result. And then once you have the identity all set, now you start looking for clarity. Okay, what it is that I want, what do I want to do? And if you don't have a skill set for what you want to do, start developing the skill sets, start learning. YouTube is free. You can learn on YouTube. You can take a course. You can get a coach. You can have somebody that's already done it, and they can show you the way and give you a map on how to get there. Clarity. A lot of people, the reason why they're stuck and they are unhappy is because they don't get clear, and they don't take at least 15 minutes in a year to at least say, what do I want? What do I desire? People don't take the time to get clear. You need to get clear. Once you get clear on what you want, ask yourself, why do you want it? Why is this so important to you? Why do you want to make over $100,000? You want to take your family on vacation. You want to make more, give more. Why do you want to go for this dream? To inspire, to motivate, to have a better life, to whatever it is. Get the why, and then once you have the why, now it's action time. Now you have clarity, you have the why, and then now it's action. What is one step you can take today? You know what? Today I'm going to learn for 15 minutes on YouTube. And also for the people that struggle with that all or nothing thinking, you need to start small. You need to stop telling yourself, this year I'm going to study 400 hours. No, man, like study at least 15 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day. Start learning something new every single day, just for 5 minutes. You don't have to go so extreme, because when you go from nothing to doing nothing to something extreme, it's going to be too much. You're going to get overwhelmed, and then you're going to give up, and then you're going to say, I knew this wasn't going to work. And of course it didn't work, because you didn't even do anything.
Exactly.
You were just overthinking. One more thing. People, I remember went to a conference, and they asked people like, hey, how much time do you spend just overthinking? Or like, I should do this, I should do that. And then the average was about 6 to 8 hours a day. So just imagine 240 hours a month. I don't know how many that would be in a year. That's why I wasn't good in school, but it's a lot of hours, okay? Overthinking. Just thinking like, maybe I should do this. Ooh, that would be a great idea. Ooh, that should do. Oh, you know what? I should have done this. I should. And then you should all over yourself. And then
I love that one.
You end up telling yourself, oh man, I knew this wasn't going to work. And then here comes another year, another 10 years, another 20 years. Before you know it, you're 40, 50, 60, and you're you're
this
sad.
time has
All
passed
this time has
by.
passed by. Yeah.
You know, I want to highlight the University on Wheels. Man, I think that is so valuable.
Yeah.
500 hours a year at a minimum. We are in that freaking car driving around. What are you pouring in your head? What are you programming? It's all a choice. It's what we decide to pour into ourselves. It's not our fault what happened to us, but it is our responsibility to reprogram, to restructure, to become the adults that we needed when we were younger.
Oh, yeah.
So I love it. Andres, we're kind of coming to an end, but oh my gosh, it like went by so fast. I loved there's so many takeaways. Guys, if you guys want to get in touch with Andres, if you are curious about coaching, if you, I mean, we didn't even talk about the book, but he's creating authors. I'm actually one of them on one of his books. If you're interested in writing a book, reach out to him. If you're interested in motivational speaking, reach out to him. If you're interested in just what's that next step? How do you create the life that you want? And what steps do you start? How do you get started? How do you get started, period?
Yeah.
Andres, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can text me at 520-392-9179, or you can check me out on Facebook, Andrés Ruiz. Yeah, so those are the two ways that you can get a hold of me.
And say your number one more time.
520-392-9179.
Well, there you have it, guys. Also, if you are my friend on social media, make sure to send me a note. If you didn't get his phone number, I'll be so happy to connect you with him. But he's one of my friends on there, so you just look up Andrés Ruiz as one of my friends there as well. But again, thank you so much for listening. Again, this was Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto, tu mejor amiga en bienes raíces, sponsored by Tucson Appliance, Chris and Corbin Edwards, and we are so grateful to be here with you guys another Saturday. Remember, this show is going to bring you amazing speakers, amazing people that are here to pour their heart into you. We want to contribute positivity to the community. We want to hear you. We want to be here with you every Saturday at 9:30 on Urbana 92.5 FM with speakers that have so much to contribute, like Andres today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you guys have any more questions about the show, if you guys have any questions about real estate, remember Kasandra Prieto, your best friend in real estate. Any questions about the show that you want to maybe even recommend that we have someone here as a special guest, or if you want to come on the show and you feel like you have something super positive to contribute to our community, we are so excited to have you. So make sure that you reach out. And my number, again, as always, is going to be 520-349-3248. Or you can literally Google me and you'll find me on every platform possible because I'm obsessed with social media. I just really am. Kasandra with a K and one S, Kasandra. And then my last name is Prieto de Agua Prieta. So you know how to spell Agua Prieta? Then you know Prieto. Kasandra Prieto de Agua Prieta. So make sure to follow us. Andres, do you have any goodbyes for the show? We still got about a minute.
Yeah, no, if you have something in your heart that keeps telling you, that you were meant for more, listen to that voice. There's a reason why you keep getting these signs, and maybe this is one of the signs that's telling you, to do something.
Signs.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, and again, you don't have to be like I think it was Les Brown that said, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
Exactly. You have to get started to be great.
Yes.
You'll never get there. You'll never even get close to it if you don't get started.
Exactly. Yeah.
But University on Wheels, that's going to be my biggest takeaway today. Excuse me. I really feel that all of us can take advantage of it. And we are so vulnerable. We could talk ourselves into anything, right? Our minds go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Once we plant a little seed, oh my God, we could convince ourselves of anything possible.
Absolutely.
So, si tú has estado pensando que quiero algo diferente en mi vida, que quiero cambiar la manera que pienso, tú lo puedes hacer. Solamente tienes que querer hacerlo. Y esto de University on Wheels, manejamos más de 500 horas al año, como dijo Andrés. ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Qué te estás metiendo en tu cabecita? esas 500 horas al año. Tú te puedes reprogramar, tú puedes tener una vida distinta, pero solamente si tú lo quieres. Muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto. We will see you guys next show. Yay! To the last minute.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you, Tom.